Well, good evening everybody. It's a nice Friday evening just before we break off for the weekend, and I just thought I would pop out for 15-20 minutes. I've not really been out on the Thruxton really since I bought it. That was mainly because I had to get the running in miles done on the Harley. I've done that now. The Harley's had its first service, it's had its tune, update, air filter and back plate, and of course I put the silencer on it. I'll go over that separately when I'm out and about in a Harley at some point. What I will say is it's made a huge difference to the bike. Really pleased with it. Wasn't cheap to get it all done, but I feel it was worth it in the end. But anyway, I did have plans for this weekend to go out with the Harley Club again, the Dunedin guys and girls, but took a terrible cold this week. Well, I say terrible cold, just not a very nice cold. And yesterday it kind of was at its climax. I felt really terrible, but today slightly better. So I just thought, a bit of fresh air, clear my nostrils, and I'm past the snottery stage now. And I thought I would just get the Thruxton out for a wee spin. And I'm trying something new with the mic to see if I can get rid of the sort of robotic sound I've been getting. And ironically, I'm probably going to sound a bit nasally and that way anyway, but hopefully the sound quality is better. So I haven't done a lot of miles on this. I don't know, I maybe have done 100 or something, I don't know, I could work it out. But I've not had a chance to really sort of get out and enjoy this bike and introduce it to you, because it got stuck away in the garage and I just got on with getting the Harley done. I had to get all the running in miles done, and then last weekend I took the Harley out on the run with the chapter, so there just hasn't really been an opportunity to go over this bike and how I came about buying it and why I bought it and all that kind of stuff. I don't know how much of that I'll cover tonight. I really just want to take it out on a bimbo, just enjoy it basically. Oh, tried to miss that there, didn't do a good job of it. So I have managed to locate the Dolphin fairing kit for it. I haven't got the red kit, but I've gone for what I think is the next best choice, and that's black. And I'm quite happy to put the black on it the way it is. Paul, who sold me the bike, had said that he felt the black fairing was a good option too because of the side panels. So I went along with that and thought, yep, if I'd got any other colour I would have had to get it painted. But the black I think I can get away with. So it's a full fairing kit, it's brand new. I've got a good discount on it, and I've got that. I don't know if I'll fit it this year. I really want to get on with the VFR in the garage, in the workshop, and get that sorted out. And tomorrow I'm thinking if I feel not too bad, because I've grounded myself this weekend from going out, I might get on with doing the brakes on that. I really would like to get that back on the road. It's been in the workshop long enough. So, you know, I got the Harley sorted out and all the bits put on the Harley. I got the VFR 1200 sorted out and all the bits put on the VFR. And I just feel I need to get some time on the bikes now. So I'm not going to kind of burn off time fitting the fairing kit to this. I might put that off until that might, if I can get the VFR out of the workshop, that might become a job for in the workshop, maybe over the winter. So I don't know how well you're going to hear me. Now, on a separate video, I will go over my thoughts about this bike. Why I ended up eventually getting another one when I didn't keep the original one I had very long. What it is I think about it, that is a slow burner with some people. but I'm going to go over that in a separate video. I'm not going to go over that tonight. I just want to tell you how I came about buying it. Paul was selling it. I wasn't really looking to buy a Thruxton at that point. I did always feel that maybe one day I would buy another one if I could, especially after they stopped making it. But I always really loved the red one, and I nearly bought a brand new red one in 2016, and let's just say that I ordered it and it turned into an Africa Twin. At the time I just felt the Africa Twin offered a lot more, was cheaper, and you know, my initial test ride on this Thruxton, not this Thruxton but a brand new Thruxton back then, a demo, was that it was a slightly just on the bland side. Now that's what I'm going to go over in another video, to explain why you might think that, or why I might have thought that, and why my thoughts have changed, and why I've realised why I thought that. But I was going to get a red one then, because I loved the red, and Paul had bought this at the beginning of the year, and he only did about 100 miles on it, and Paul's very much like myself. He's a bit of a compulsive bike buyer, and things come and go quite quickly sometimes. We both try to give each other therapy on our condition. I think we're both getting slightly better. But anyway, I have sold Paul a bike in the past, did him a good deal, and he did me a very good deal on this bike. I'm not going to discuss what I paid for it, because I did promise Paul that I wouldn't ever say. But I got a good deal, and so much so that I just found it difficult to resist it. And I just felt that, okay, it's kind of like money in the bank. I could get my money back, and I could get it back, I think, with a reasonable, decent profit, if I wanted to just flip it. I've no intentions of doing that, but you know, at least I know it's there. It's like an asset that I can enjoy, and if things get sticky, I can always get rid of it. So I just couldn't resist it, and of course it had all the beautiful trick parts on it. You know, it had the fender eliminator, the LED indicators, you know, the nice little fairing on the top, or the nice little screen. It'd been decatted, and of course the Vance & Hines pipes. So it had, you know, decent bit of extra kit on it that was all genuine Triumph. So when I put that on top of what I got it for, it was just a bargain, just an absolute bargain. And I know we all say that, we all say, oh, I got it for a bargain, but this was a bargain, it really was. In the grand scheme of things that I bought in the past, this was a good buy. I can't go wrong with it. But I bought it to enjoy it. It's, you know, I feel it's a really lovely compliment to my Harley, because my Harley is very traditional. You know, it's a very traditional bike, my Harley, even though it's got a few modern touches to it. It still in many ways feels like an older bike. And this of course is very much styled a bit like the Harley. It's got a bit of tradition, but it is styled on an old-fashioned looking bike. And I think with the decat done and the pipes on it, it sounds just lovely. It's like my Harley actually at the moment. It's just enough. It's not over the top. It's not going to get you pulled, but it's just got enough vocal sound to make it really enjoyable. The torque on this bike is phenomenal. It is really great. and it's what makes its riding style a bit different. It's something you've got to adjust to, and again I will go into on a separate video why I think this can sometimes be not sort of, it can be initially disappointing to maybe some people when they get on it, but I think with the right mindset and the right changes, it can really be a special bike. But I'm chuffed with it. It's in beautiful condition, and I'm really pleased that I got the opportunity to get it. I will pull over and give you a wee tour of it. I'll take some photos while I'm at it, if the camera will obey me. Apologies if I'm doing any sniffling. Now, I am a traditionalist. I like old bikes. I like, you know, this is what a motorbike should look like to me. I'm not saying that it's the best experience you'll have all round. I mean, if you get an adventure bike, or you get a good touring bike, or a good sports bike, sort of, you know, a sports tourer type bike, you can have a whale of a time on those bikes, and they're good all-rounders, and they'll do a lot of things for you, and they're really enjoyable. So I know that this is this is something that you go out and have a bimbo on, and maybe you might do 100, 200 miles in it, but you're not really going to tour Britain with it. There's better bikes to do that with, I think. But for that sort of, you know, if you were to ask me, you know, as a child to draw a bike, I would have drawn something like this, or something like my Harley. You know, that's what I would have come up with as a bike, or, you know, a Kawasaki Z1 or something like that. That's what, to me, a motorbike should look like. Obviously my life has been, you know, I've been riding, you know, nearly 44 years. I've had all kinds of bikes, from super bikes to hyper bikes to you name it. I've had so many. So you know, I appreciate different bikes can do different things and give you different experiences, but there's just something about a nice classic bike, whether it be a V-twin or a parallel twin, and this with the 270 crank, it's just got a lovely sound to it. Now I've had the original Thruxton 900. I had that in 2012 for a couple of years, so I've had the 360 degree crank one, and I will talk about that again when I do another video, because it can go alongside what I'm going to say about this. And then I had a white 2019 one of these, brand new. Difficult to say why I bought it and then why I sold it so quickly, but I think it was a guilt thing and money and everything else, and I had a few bikes in the garage, and it just seemed excessive at the time, and I got it quite cheap, and I sold it and got basically out of what I was in without any cost. It was just the wrong time to be buying the bike, I think. So I always felt that there could be another one on the cards. It was a bike I always felt I never gave enough time to. I loved the look of them, I just wasn't so impressed with the ride of them, how they felt. But again, like I say, I'll clear that up in a video to what I'm talking about with that. But when you want to go out and you want to just do like I'm doing this evening, I'm maybe going to be lucky if I do 20 miles, maybe do a little bit more. But when you just want to go out and get a little bimbo and fresh air and just get the feel of a really easy bike to throw around, easy bike to handle, a bike that's effortless to ride because it's got such torque in it, and it sounds so good, and it looks absolutely amazing. I mean, I could just sit this in my workshop or in my garage as a trophy and just stare at it and not ever ride it again and still be happy to own it. That would be a great waste, of course, but that's how I feel about it. It's just such an iconic looking bike. It'll be nice to do a sort of historical chat about Harley Davidson and Triumph. I think they're two massive names, you know, they're two brands that are so deeply rooted in both countries. And both companies have had their shares of, you know, problems. Harley certainly seem to be going through their problems at the moment, and Triumph just seem to be, well, they've just, you know, as when they came alive again, they just seem to have gone from strength to strength. They're never ever stale in what they do, but that's for another video, because I think it's quite an interesting topic, Triumph, and about, you know, John Blue and how they came back. I think it's a tremendous story, and the product range, well, speaks for itself. We did have a month of almost amazing dry weather, some beautiful hot days, kind of our springtime, but it felt very, very like summertime. And in Scotland the weather can just go can very much just chop and change. Hopefully that's not our summer, but we had a little bit of rain the last week and that's been welcomed. Just watching the speed limits a little bit round here. Fortunately most of it is 40 and I'm not doing 40. But oh, what a lovely place to be. What a lovely bike to be out on. Especially just for this short bimbo. I'm dying to show you around it properly. The mirrors are very effective, they work very well. Very good vision from the mirrors, because they're on the end of the bars. They're totally unrestricted. So I think we're getting very close to my garage doors closing to anything else in my life. I think that I've wasted so much money on so many different bikes. I've gone round in circles with certain machines, but I can't justify it any longer, and work has sort of I don't know how long my current job will last. It might still tick along for another couple of years. I'm 61 this year, June. I've got to work until I'm 67. I'm not rich enough to not carry on working. And although I am trying to stick a bit away now in a pension, it's never going to be fantastic. I kind of think of my old age as being able to afford to go somewhere and buy tea and scones, and if that's what I could do in my retirement, then I'll be happy. And also hopefully still be riding bikes, maybe still own one or two. But anyway, like I say, work is kind of I don't know, it could last another year, it could last another couple of years, I could be there another 5 years, but I've kind of got to work until I'm 67, I think, to be comfortable. So all these things are going on, and I just feel that I've kind of just now got to calm down and be happy with what I've got. There's so many times I should have been happy with what I had, and it was just a terrible addiction really to chop and changing. And although it may not seem it, I have gotten a lot better than the last 2 or 3 years, but I've still had my moments, of course, just not so many. And Paul is going through the same thing. He's the same as me. We've both been as bad as each other. But I am grateful to Paul for selling me this and giving me a good deal. And a really decent chap. And we met through Two Wheels because we both bought bikes there, and we became good friends, and we've had a few bikes together and a few ride outs. And the one bike that I have not really utilised yet, but I really need to, and again some of this came down to me sorting the Harley out, is I need to get the 1200, the VFR 1200 out and about. I'd love to do that 500 mile plus day again on it. And now I've got, you know, luggage for this one and so forth, and it's such a low mileage bike at 8,500 miles. It feels almost like a new bike. Such a lovely bike to ride, nice crispy gear change, quite light to throw around, handling's good. Brakes of course are phenomenal. If you had a time machine and could take this back to the 60s, my god, you would be stirring some crap up amongst the bikers. They'd be blown away by this. Right, so let's get a wee look around it. let you hear it first and then I'll switch it off. But oh, it sounds good. Sounds very good. Right, so here we have my 2016 Thruxton in this beautiful red. Lovely LCD indicators, the tail tidy. It's got this nice little fairing, but like I say, I have got the proper one for it. With a racing kit for that, so the drop bars and two if I want to put those on. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that, but I'll think about it. And as I say, the black fairing, you know, it could kind of really work well with this. So I'm pretty pleased with that. I'll let you quickly hear it. So it's just got enough sound to be nice. I'm going to stop recording and take some photos. Right, so the camera worked out quite well there. The camera, the voice commands, as long as you're kind of more or less stationary, it kind of works quite well. So stopped recording, hopefully it doesn't do this here, that's fine, and then I managed to tell it to take some photographs, all done with just the voice command. Now I do have the external mic on, hopefully that is working. Yes, it is. I do have the external mic on, and it's just in front of my face, behind the sort of strap that I've got the camera on. I need to do a video on the DJI stuff. It's just so bloody brilliant, the DJI stuff. It just blows the GoPros out of the water. And I've had plenty of GoPros, so I feel I've got an opinion on that. What an amazing bike. I mean, they made this from 2016, I think, until I don't know, when did they end it? You know, maybe a couple of years ago, something like that. It didn't have a massive production run. I think the Speed Twin came along and they kind of just decided it wasn't needed anymore, which is a great shame because it's such an iconic looking bike. Now, I know that when it comes to cafe racers, the whole point of cafe racers was in the 60s, you know, youngsters were getting old bikes that were kind of battered and done, and they were just then kind of trying to get the fastest speeds they could out of them, and they were mixing components and changing bits and pieces, and that's kind of how the cafe racer came around. And in those days, you know, the ton-up boys, to try and do a ton was a massive achievement, because the bikes could hardly do that, and they really had to be flat out to get that anywhere near that. The suspension was crap, the brakes were crap, you were holding on for dear life, I've no doubt, and so it's homage to that era, but obviously it's a production bike, it's been made this way. But it's a beautiful idea, and I mean, if you go back to sort of the mid-90s, if you had gone to anybody and asked them to build you a bike like this, it would have cost you an absolute fortune. It would have been a massive cost to get someone to custom make a bike like this for you, to engineer something like this for you. And here's Triumph rolling them off a production line. Who would have thought, you know, after the sort of demise of Triumph in the 70s and early 80s, who would have thought that something like this would grace the roads again? Something so iconically beautiful, because it is. There's just no taking away from the fact that this is a beautiful bike. I just can't see, if you're into motorbikes, how you would think any different. It's just such a fantastic bike, and I was just so chuffed and tickled pink to get it with all the bits. I'm not normally a tail tidy person, I don't normally like tail tidies, but on this bike I think it's needed. And I know some people will say number plate's too big, but in this country they're quite strict on that, and you know, I'm not that bothered about it. But hey ho, I mean, I'm not going to go over the technical specs of it, because there's plenty of videos with that, and most of you will know what it is. You know, it is the R, it's got all the bits, the extra bits on it, but oh, it's just absolutely superb. Anyway, enough of me sitting here talking about it. It's not a bad evening, considering it's been quite a sort of a miserable week, really, on and off. Oh. So this is the fourth. The bridges are way over there. Could go down, I suppose. So you can see there's a cruise ship in, but over behind that is the rail bridge, the Forth Road Bridge and the Queensferry Bridge. That's Inchcombe and the Abbey, because you can just see straight ahead there, the Abbey. And that island there is Inchkeith, and as you come in a bit here, this is obviously Burnt Island. And then you've got Kinghorn and Kirkcaldy, where I'm from originally. I live over this way, Dalgety Bay. It's a beautiful place, beautiful. Feel very lucky to be born where I am, but I suppose a lot of people feel the same in lots of places, but I'm certainly very proud to be a Fifer and Scottish, and I love Scotland, I really do. So there you go, that's the quick wee tour. Get on our way again. Oh, getting too old for climbing over walls. Oh, sexy sound that, isn't it? They come along here at a fair pelt. So we're coming into Aberdour now. These are roads that, as a youngster, I've ridden many times in a mad way. Of course, nowadays you've got a lot more vehicles, you've got a lot more 20-mile-an-hour sections and that kind of stuff. I'll still got my indicator on. I keep thinking that this should have self-cancelling indicators because of its age, and it doesn't. And it catches me out, and I don't know why, because my VFR doesn't have them either, but the Harley does, and I've been riding the Harley a lot lately. So this is Aberdour. I was thinking to do an Octor tonight as well, but I think the road will be mucky. I really don't want to spend this weekend having to wash a bike. I was hoping that I could maybe actually put a bit of AC, I can't even remember what it's called now. Is it AC 350? It's just gone, just forgotten what it is. Anyway, I'm hoping to put some ECF stuff on it. Is it ECF? See, completely, my brain's just fogged up now. But anyway, I was going to give them a wee bit of a going over and a bit of protection. I was going to do the Harley as well. I'll see how I feel tomorrow. There's a bit of flies on this, I noticed. Not been too bad for flies, but I always wash the flies off the bikes, because if you don't, they just end up marking the bike. So I always get a cloth and wash down the fork legs, and it's just a habit I've got to do. So I just thought I would come out on this and let you know why I bought it. It was just really too good to miss, and I felt that the money that was going into it, in a sense, wasn't going to be wasted. And if things go wrong, or you know, things go upside down, or I need cash, I can sell it and I'll definitely get back what I paid for it, and I'm quite more than confident I'd get back more than I paid for it. And so that's not a bad place to be. But I haven't bought it with the intent of flipping it. If I was just money orientated, I would have just flipped this, because I could have flipped it really easily. But I bought it because I wanted it. Just pulls effortlessly, and it is a bike that you can sometimes feel you're not going that fast, and then kaboom, you're hitting a corner and thinking, well, actually I'm going a bit quicker than I thought I was. Overtake here. That was 4th gear, piece of cake. It's got so much torque. It's a lot to do with how you need to ride this bike to appreciate it more. Seen a fair few more bikes on the road nowadays. I mean, because it's springtime and so forth. There's quite a few out. It's been such a good month that there's been so many out and about. There's points where it just sounds gorgeous, and there's points where the acceleration is just super smooth. It's like a big push on your back. It's a really nice feeling. It's a bike that doesn't require, it's got a clutch assisted, it's got an assisted clutch. It's so torquey, you don't need to be dancing around the gearbox if you don't feel like it. It's just brilliant. It's just a brilliant bike, you know. Yes, the seat is not going to be the most comfortable in the world, but I can't imagine it's going to be much worse than a super bike. And I'm honestly only going to be doing the mileages, you know, sort of like tonight, up to maybe a couple 100 miles at the most. I can't see me doing any more than that in one day on it. The 150 mile loop I've got that I'd love to do that on it. I'd love to see if I can get round it without running out of petrol. That would be a challenge, but I think we probably could just about make it. I think we would make it, in fact. 154 miles or something, a full tank. And maybe take a bit of a conservative riding. Anyway, I hope you're all doing well, and thank you to any subscribers that have come along. As I've said before, I don't do it for that. This is me recording for my old age, so I can look back at how lucky I was. I hope you have a great biking year, I really do. I hope we get the weather, I hope we get the miles in. This is the anomaly that I always find strange, is when you come down this road you can see the bridges and they look massive, absolutely massive. and yet when you go down on the coastline, they don't. It's just a weird. It's just weird. It just doesn't make sense to me. It's like an optical illusion somehow. So I'm going to have a quiet weekend, probably get in the workshop. I can't see me really getting out this weekend on a bike. I cancelled the ride tomorrow. So I'm just going to do a bit of workshop if I feel like it. But anyway, I hope you all have a great weekend. Stay safe and have some happy motorcycling if you can get out and about on them. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye for now.